Welcome to Greenvale Radio. I'm Dan, and I'm joined today by...
Whitney?
The, let's face it, the star of the Deadly Premonition fan community.
I don't know about that.
No. Oh, I do, because
Okay.
there's a ton of fans out there, but only one of them made the official Greenvale now.
That's true.
So I'm not going to let you damn yourself with faint praise over this one. But yes, we are here, as the title says, to discuss the new data announcement trailer, which, oh boy, I was excited when this came out. I mean, we knew it was going to be a data announcement trailer. I allowed myself to hope for a second that he was going to pull another thing like he did with the re-release and be like, I have an announcement about Deadly Premonition 2 this week. The announcement is you can buy it on Friday. That would have been a great...
pretty amazing, but...
It would have... That's just not what they're going to do, and it makes me a little sad.
Well, it gives us, some more time to get really hyped for it,
That's
more
true.
prepared. Give us time to tie up some loose ends before we dive into the sequel.
Oh, I know. Which, so we got months and months to get super hyped about this. It is now 3 months away, so get prepared. Oh my God. I guess we've basically at the 100-day countdown, aren't we?
Yeah. July 10th.
Perfect timing. Oh God, you're right. It's not August 10th. It's July 10th. So no, we're actually well past that now. No, May, June, July. Yeah, so we're like 80 days out from Deadly Premonition, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we have a release date to look forward to instead of
I know.
It's coming out sometime. I was kind of getting worried because I thought maybe with COVID-19 that maybe it would be pushed back like even further.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I know they're going to do, I'm sure that even if there had been this is my prayer here, that I hope that even if there had been a production issue because of the COVID-19, they would still release it digitally first.
Yeah. And
just leave the physical edition out there to come later for people who are super fans like us.
Yeah. I am a little bit sad, though, that there doesn't look like there's going to be a collector's edition because someone tweeted at Rising Star Games and they're like, no collection edition in the works, which I find really weird because, they did one for
What a beautiful job
Origins.
they did with the collector's edition on Origins.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it didn't sell as much as they wanted to. We have no access to those numbers.
Or maybe they just want to wait to see how well the sequel will sell and maybe if it's worth it to put...
collector's edition
because,
later,
right. If you remember, like in they released the director's cut 2013, and then they waited 2 years and released a collector's edition of that same game. So I always have
weird choice.
I always have hope that it's still going to happen, even if this.
It could.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Like we should keep hope alive for a collector's edition with a nice map of Le Carré and see what they're going to offer us. That'd be nice, though. So yeah, we are here to talk about the trailer, which has no new gameplay footage, and I think it's quite obvious that it is the opening credits from the game. Like it is pretty clearly the opening credits from the game. And your point, I think you tweeted out immediately, or it was just a message to me that it's like, oh, okay, so he really likes True Detective Season 1.
Yes. It was very reminiscent of True Detective Season 1's opening with the overlaying images and
the twangy music, the overlaying image, the fact that it's set in New Orleans.
Yeah, we also got the theme of Deadly Premonition 2. It's called The Deep South, and it's performed by Cashel, who apparently did vocals for Ungravitify, I don't know how to pronounce that, from Sonic Riders Shooting Star Story. I couldn't find anything else.
A game I have never played.
Yeah. But it sounds really cool, and it was actually a lot easier to transcribe the lyrics for this, unlike the original's theme, Greenvale.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. No, but it's interesting, and I thank you for sending me the lyrics because it's right there, hitting the key points.
Yep.
Yeah. You've got loneliness, you've got a hero, bullet for hire, like echo of a pain that's been long forgotten, so it haunts me.
My destiny to be alone.
Real downer, and really hitting on the idea that something bad goes down in 2005.
They'll destroy you. A call to make to keep searching, walk alone.
I know. Something bad is going to go down in 2005, and the picking up the pieces of it is going to be the modern day stuff in the Boston apartment in the True Detective interview segments. That seems like what they're doing.
Rising Star Games, they expanded their little game, kind of a summary synopsis on their official site, and it says, serving as both a sequel and a prequel to the original Deadly Premonition, follow agents Davis and Jones. So I'm wondering if Jones is the guy we see with the camera with Davis in the D4 apartment.
Probably.
As they begin a new investigation into the Lecrae serial murders. So we do know it's going to be a serial killer thing again.
Not a surprise. He only works serial cases.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder if maybe 2005, York and Zach thought they found the killer, but they didn't.
In fact, maybe the murders have started up again. Maybe something related to that has happened again, just like in True Detective. And it's so funny to watch them with the fight in Deadly Premonition over, we have to get it far enough away from Twin Peaks that they're not going to sue us. And them being so scared about being sued, understandably. Right, and they need to change it just enough that they're not going to get in trouble, and then for this trailer to come out and be like, "No, we're just doing True Detective. It's fine. We're not worried about it anymore. Nobody's suing us." And because of course, True Detective was about a killer returning after X amount of years, and them having to come back to deal with the aftermath of their previous action. And I think this is obviously they're going to be their take on the same kind of story. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited about the prospect.
We also got a little bit more of gameplay in terms of content. Yeah. So it's going to be an open world. You can travel around town by foot or skateboard.
Oh, thank God.
My God. There's going to be mini games. There's going to be bowling, a bayou ride, skateboard challenge, and more.
The amount of hours I'm going to spend doing skateboard tricks as York Morgan, I can't even imagine.
And this is the most exciting little bit. There's going to be customization. You can customize your character and upgrade your skateboard for improved speed and landing more difficult tricks. So does this mean I can make a punk rock York, please?
Oh, yes. I hope so. Please let us have a punk costume. Because in the first one, the customization was literally just different colored suits. Yep. If we could actually have different outfits for York this time, that would make me incredibly happy.
It kind of makes me wonder if Swery is actually finally going to do, the different hairstyles he wanted to do for the first game, but they had it cut.
The option of going to the barber and getting a different hairstyle.
Maybe his beard could actually grow really long.
Yeah, or do different styles of beard as you go. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're only seeing clean-shaven York in the trailers, but those are the trailers. That doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah.
There could be all sorts. I mean, it's not like the trailers for Deadly Premonition could show you whatever showed you unshaven, fly-covered York Morgan. There were plenty of surprises available in Deadly Premonition. I'm sure Deadly Premonition 2 will have no shortage thereof. But yeah, the skateboarding tricks is what's exciting me the most. Just the idea of pulling off 6 skateboarding tricks in a Deadly Premonition game.
Though I kind of wonder, why is he not driving? Is he not
I'm sure he will drive as well.
Okay.
I know, I'm sure he'll have a car as well. It would be weird if he didn't. Unless, of course, it's such a small town that he can walk and skateboard everywhere. What do you call it? And of course he's doing, like you said, he's doing the Bayou boats. So we're going to have him on the fan boats skidding around so that should be, there's more kinds of locomotion than just the walking and the skateboarding. You're right that it's weird it doesn't mention cars, but I mean, he's still a cop investigating a case. There's probably going to be a car, right?
You would think, unless he totals that car too.
Maybe that's a theme with him.
Every case he starts, he totals his car.
That would be so great. All right, so let's get a look at some of the imagery they show us in the opening credits to see what we can parse out of this. So first off, you got to match lighting. And that's interesting because it's reminiscent of Mission Impossible, which always starts its thing with a match lighting. And of course, York does not use a match to light his cigarettes. He has his famous lighter.
Unless maybe he gets his famous lighter
in this story.
After this, yeah.
that could be it. But yeah, just the fact that it's a wooden match, it seems very, that's the kind of thing you normally see with people who smoke pipes. So I'm like, is that significant? Or is it just a match thing with the beginning at the end? At the opening of the credits, he lights a match. And at the end of the credits, we get the fiery explosion. Again, Mission Impossible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That
York
could be something.
Floating.
Yeah, we got the York wonderfully floating or falling. It's hard to tell. And then you get the most interesting thing, an eyeball transforming into the eye of a hurricane, transforming back into an eyeball.
There's a lot of eye imagery with like abstract eye stuff. So we also have like this weird black, like abstract thing kind of forming an eye later on in the trailer.
Yeah.
You got smoke and then a hurricane looking to an eye. Close-ups of an eye too, a bloody eye.
Oh, yeah. It's very significant. I don't know what the eye imagery means yet, but obviously that's going to play in somehow. What fascinated me though, right, was here's something that never occurred to me. And it's like, I feel like such an idiot for having to have it pointed out to me here. So Deadly Premonition takes place in 2006. Mm-hmm. Deadly Premonition 2 takes place in 2005 and 2019. Which raises the question, is a bunch of the 2005 stuff going to be set around Hurricane Katrina?
That's what I'm thinking.
Is it going to be, are these murders happening in the aftermath? Is Hurricane Katrina going to happen during the story?
Well, that's what I thought with like the hurricane imagery. So
yeah, because it hadn't even occurred to me. Like timing wise, it makes perfect sense.
Is it going to be something not natural? Like we thought it was like a natural thing, but maybe it was something that the Red Tree did?
You're right. There could be like a supernatural summoning ritual aspect to the hurricane that wiped out Louisiana. Mm-hmm. That would be an interesting and daring turn to take.
I mean, we also, just from the stuff that's flashing, it's you have to basically play the trailer kind of in slow-mo to get a lot of it.
Which I did.
But we see, it's like, okay, Louisiana type things. We see a lot of like Mardi Gras, swamps.
Marshes.
Yeah, just typical stuff you expect to see and stuff in the South. We got like Mardi Gras beads, people in masks dancing, but then you got like disturbing images. You got snakes, you got half-naked ladies, skulls.
Oil refinery. There's
also this part where it looks like viruses are like popping into existence in this like blackness. And I'm not sure what to call them. It looks like little virus balls. And you see a porcelain doll on fire of a woman, a man that looks like it's like oil on his face or something. And then he kind of just melts away, blood going down a drain. Then, of course, you see Kaysen and Willie in abstract terms. Like you see a close-up
represented very, like you say, with great abstraction.
Yeah, you see this exposed belly of a fat guy, and then he's like in black underwear too, and then a barking Dalmatian. It's like, okay, is that Kaysen?
It's gotta be meaningful.
Or is it maybe like another Red Tree agent? Because in between those images, you see
who Willie is working with now, right?
Yeah, you see this explosion of like red powder. Yeah. So
it's got to tie in directly.
Yeah, so I'm really hopeful that this means that Red Tree will play. The cover of the game has a huge red tree looming over the town.
Well, no, but we know at the start of Deadly Premonition, we know he's been tracking cases of the Red Tree murders all across the country, right? So it's completely logical to assume that's exactly what we're going to get this time. That it's another one of the Red Tree murders that he didn't get quite to the bottom of. And now the consequences are playing out 14 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's got to be that, right?
I don't know if, it was pointed out on the Friendly Premonition Discord. We were, talking about Deadly Premonition 2.
Friendly Premonition. I love that so much.
And so we're talking about Kaysen and if he'll return. But the thing is, York acts like he doesn't know Kaysen in the Greenvale case. So I'm wondering if it's going to be more as he's going to be in the background, but York doesn't notice, but we'll notice because we know Kaysen. And then the 2019 stuff is when Zach kind of puts it together that maybe it's not, it could be Kaysen, or it could be another agent because Willie's still around, still working for the Red Tree. So even though he got rid of one Kaysen, there's still others out in the world.
There's still others, and whether those are literally guys that look like Kaysen or other, as we theorized based on the various models, it's possible that it's not all the same guy. It could be just different demons that all look the same.
Yep.
We really don't know. Right, but yeah, with any glimpse of Willie makes me super excited because it suggests that we're going to learn more about how this world works.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm most excited about, is to get more about how these realms or
especially since we're putting
work.
out right away in a couple of weeks, we're putting out our video about our theories about how the worlds work, which, we only have to wait 2 months to find out if we're right.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty fun.
Yeah, and
it's very exciting.
So, what did you think of the cover, the key art? Isn't it badass with the red tree?
The red tree with those, because it's a completely different kind of red tree, right? With all of the hanging vine, like the low-hanging willow tree type vines. But
it's only in like certain. It's only in little certain spots, so it looks like it still looks like the red tree, but has like a little bit.
But it's also got all of these red creepers dripping off of it.
Yeah.
No, the key art is fantastic. Like, I cannot wait to have. I'm praying that if that's not the real cover.
No, it is.
I would love it. Oh, it is the real cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was hoping they would give us a clean version of it without the name of the game.
Oh, they did.
So, one of those reversible cases.
No, they have it. In the press kit.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But it also looks like the tree's also making an eye with the sun through the branches. Yep. So what is with the eye? Is it like kind of maybe a theme of seeing the truth or unveiling the truth behind stuff?
The thing is, whether it's truth or whether it's the message that you're always being like just surveillance, always being watched, something like that can factor in too, because you're right, the eye imagery is all over this thing. So is that about seeing clearly, or is that about an oppressive eye that's always watching you? It can go both ways. And the fact that we get all of these images of him plummeting or floating with the eyes giant eyes behind him looming over him would suggest to me that York is the one who someone always has their eye on York. Would be my way of interpreting that. Exactly, right?
Oh, yeah, we didn't mention, like, there's a creepy looking Zack in that trailer too. He's like doing this creepy smile.
I know. And is that something we're gonna get in the game, or is that just a reference to people's endless lines about their love of creepy smile York?
I don't know. It could just be a nod to that.
Yeah, it could be a nod to that because people love that. But because you've got both the hurricane. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be set around Hurricane Katrina, although I guess we'll find out once we find out, if we find out what day it's set when the game starts. But the fact that they have both the hurricane and a shot of like a pouring rain at night, to me suggests that there's a good chance this is going to be set around the hurricane. Or, like I said, it could be in the aftermath of the hurricane, like one of those situations where there's been a nasty hurricane and in the aftermath there's suddenly poverty, no one can work, there's disaster everywhere, and murders have started up. Like, that could be it too.
I don't know, but the town looks too nice.
The town does look really nice in all the shots, doesn't it? So
yeah.
Maybe it starts before the hurricane and then the hurricane happens during the story. Maybe his giant showdown with whatever villain. There's worse places to set a final showdown with a villain than during Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah. So I'm really thinking now that it's like a supernatural thing.
Yeah, there might be a supernatural element to Hurricane Katrina, which is both hugely disrespectful to the people who died in that tragedy, but is also a badass story element to do. So I don't know quite how to feel about that yet. Although we don't know if necessarily that's what they're doing, so we don't have to feel kind of bad about it yet.
Yeah.
Even if we should. But yeah, blood and gore, use of drugs, violence. No use of alcohol, which is weird. Because, so much of Deadly Premonition is hanging out in a bar.
Well, you know what? I'm still thinking about Katrina. So we keep seeing Mardi Gras imagery, and that's in February, but Katrina didn't happen until August.
Until August, yeah.
So,
and you're right.
Is he there but a super long time?
He could have been. We don't know. But you're right, because it is weird, because there's both explicitly a hurricane and explicitly Mardi Gras footage. So are they just trying to... Obviously, the one thing is, you don't associate... Everybody associates Louisiana with Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to say something, whether or not you were going to include something like that in the game, just by being set in Louisiana, I think people are expecting... Well, Mardi Gras footage is a way of saying this is Louisiana. But the hurricane is not something you necessarily associate with Louisiana specifically, except for that one specific hurricane.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying. So
Usually
I would say
I associate hurricanes with like Florida.
Exactly. Yeah, Florida gets hit by hurricanes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They can hit on the other side of the Gulf Coast, and they do, but you think of hurricanes as being Florida or the Caribbean. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But here, it's this... I think it's too much of a coincidence that he's setting something in Louisiana in 2005. How do you not factor Katrina into that when that's what happened to Louisiana in 2005?
Yep.
You are right, though, that there is a sharp contrast with the... There's a sharp contrast with the Mardi Gras footage, which, of course, was from 6 months earlier. So,
or maybe the town just does it all year round.
That'd be nice. Or we'll get to a creepy location like in the movie Hard Target, where they go to the warehouse where they keep all of the parade float stuff on the off season.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like all these creepy decrepit fiberglass float heads. It's a fun movie. I very much enjoy Hard Target. But yeah, like the skull right at the end, the skull imagery, the eye imagery, the skull going over York's face, which is not a good sign for York.
We also see like a dead flies and
yep.
Just there's images of death like that flash that we don't
it's
hard to catch.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no real life game footage, so we don't have to worry that they're going to spoil stuff the way Deadly Premonition did.
Yeah, there's still time. They're probably going to put out some more trailers. This was just the release date one, so I'm sure that they'll have
plenty of opportunities to spoil it for us later. I mean, I'm so crazy when I was watching it, when I was freeze framing it, right? I'm like, at 46 seconds. I think within the copse of trees, I see a man's legs. Is there a guy standing there among the trees? And I'm like, no, you're going crazy. That's just another tree.
We also...
I keep thinking there must be more secrets in this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more stuff hidden there that I just didn't pick up.
Yeah.
We did also get a couple new screenshots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's... one we see of, it looks like a restaurant, and then we see the sign from Louisiana. Here, I did tweet them. Give me a second and I can...
Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, I did not see the new screenshot, but I'm very intrigued because, let's face it, there's so much to do in this thing. Because as you said, we already know they're loading it down with minigames. I have to assume... scope story-wise, it's going to be at least roughly the same size as Deadly Premonition. It would be crazy if it were not.
So there
there they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the sign. We also got some like artwork of York, of a younger York. And a little bit later, when Japan started doing the announcement stuff, they actually got another piece of production art of Patricia with York. We didn't get that one. We just got York.
Damn.
But I like the sign, and I'm wondering if we're going to see a lot of eating in the game. I assume we will.
Well, there is a food truck right there, yeah, so wouldn't surprise me at all. You got what looks like a food truck when they're standing in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got an on-screen map, too.
Yes.
And he's not on a skateboard, and we have like a wayfinder, so...
Yep. Welcome to Le Carré, Louisiana. Oh. But yeah, the sun as a nefarious eye. The sun as a nefarious eye. Maybe that's the nose. Maybe that's an evil grin. Like, There's stuff going on with that tree that's just so captivating. Like, I cannot wait to find out what's going on there. And, of course, yeah, young York looks pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so good now.
I know, he's hot.
Such a great choice. Yeah, they've really done a fantastic job getting us excited and prepped for this. Yeah, it's going to be... I know it's... I don't want to oversell this, but we may be in for the best video game of the decade. I'm just saying, he might go 2 for 2 decade-wise. Is that a stretch to believe? Maybe. But, I think there's a slight chance he's going to go 2 for 2 decade-wise. Yeah, oh my god. And you're right, the town does look really good. So there's no way this is happening in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
Unless it was spared? I don't know.
That is possible. But you're right, it would be quite a stretch to assume this is happening in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, given how good everything looks. And I know this is going to sound like a strange thing to say, but I'm kind of glad that the graphics aren't lush and attempting realism. Even though it's 10 years later. Like, it looks better than Deadly Premonition.
Oh, yeah,
but it has the same visual aesthetic as the original. Like, these are not photorealistic faces. These are still stylized faces. These are still stylized people. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at her, where they're standing on the street next to what looks like the police or food van, it's hard to tell.
Looks like a food truck.
Well, yeah, it's weird. It looks like a food truck, but then there's a man with a picture. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's a shirtless guy next to it, and there's a sheriff's badge on the...
Oh, do you think he travels around town in that?
No.
Or maybe she lives in it?
Maybe something like that. I first assumed it was a food truck because it has that look and it seems to have a counter inside, but who knows what it actually is.
I want to know what that little sign is.
I know. Well, we're going to find out soon enough because the sign, as you can see in the picture, has an interaction icon on it, letting you know you can click on it to find out what's what, as does the counter inside. So we can probably buy something in there. There's an image on screen, like as you can see on the map. There is like a black diamond with a symbol inside.
Yeah, it's like an icon.
Telling you that's an icon that you can interact with. So obviously, it's some kind of a
There's actually
interactable
several.
thing.
There's 3 on the screen. We have one that's 279 maybe feet away, and another one that's 315 feet away.
So there's obviously, and in the top right, he's got 2 updates. Now, is that text messages? Is that stuff for quests that are currently ongoing? So there's clearly like a ton of stuff. He's still got a health and stamina bar, which doesn't encourage me a lot because it means there will be combat.
Well, it also means that you got to worry about feeding him, too.
Okay, well, that too. And what looks maybe like a tiredness meter at the top left?
Maybe?
Because it's an eyeball with sections around it. So I think there's a chance that might be a tiredness meter. Again, it's hard to tell because we don't know anything about the game.
Or maybe that's a profiling thing. Like, you see it light up.
That could be.
You can profile
a scene. Like when you can profile, and maybe that's... Or there's like the what a lot of games do with the spectral vision mode where you can see important things, but it has a counter that goes down and you can only do it for so long. It could be one of those as well. Like, I know we're trying to interpolate a lot out of one screenshot, but something I noticed was if you look at her legs and his hands, it's almost they've done the cartoony, given them a black outline around the model.
It reminds me of D4.
To make them... Yes, exactly. Where they have the black outline around all the characters to differentiate them from the background. It's a slightly cartoony, stylized look that I really liked in D4, and I think they've recreated here.
I'm looking at Patricia. I wonder what's around her neck. I wonder if that will play like the necklace she's wearing. If that would be a big thing.
That wouldn't surprise me at all if the necklace... I mean, because it's such a distinctive necklace... I mean, it's a locket that has a dragonfly on it, and we know how important the dragonfly imagery is in the other trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be vitally important. Like, they wouldn't have put that dragonfly image front and center in the previous trailer and then showed us a picture of her dragonfly locket if they didn't want us to know it meant something.
Yeah.
Also, crime scene set up on rebar next to a burnt out something, like... What looks like, I don't know, one of those the stick models from the Blair Witch Project or something like it.
Well, and also like True Detective.
Also like True Detective,
Yeah.
yes. Obviously. Is it bad that what I want to know most is who is Zach playing chess with?
Yeah, I want to know too.
There's a game in progress! And Zach seems to be playing black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does that mean? Yeah, I feel like there's something to that as well. So yeah, like there's a ton of interesting stuff in here. And just that shot from the balcony of the balcony restaurant we get, right? From
I like the pineapple is just a big pineapple just in the middle of the table.
Well, and it makes you really get a sense of how big this location might actually be, right? Because you can see a ton of stuff in the background there. We haven't we've seen a few shots of him riding around on a skateboard. But we haven't really gotten a good look at the map yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried with our interview with Jeff. He made it sound like there wasn't a lot of side mission stuff.
Yeah,
but it
I
could be
concerned about that as well.
a lot of text heavy stuff again. So
that's true, because in the original side missions, you're right, a lot of the time there's no voice lines for that.
Yeah.
So it's possible that you're right, he's mostly speaking in the plot related things, and then it's just text for the side missions, because you're right, then he would have no idea. I mean, why build this? I mean, I can't imagine that there aren't going to be side missions. There've got to be side missions related to the because look at the original, right? There's not, you can play darts, but there's also related side missions to the darts. Yeah, you can go fill up your car with gas, but there's side missions related to that. I don't think he would have notably less content this time. It seems so anathema to the whole feel of Deadly Premonition to not have a bunch of extra content. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, some of this could be wishful thinking.
I'd be super disappointed if there wasn't a bunch of optional conversations I can go find, because that was my jam. I loved doing that so much.
Oh yeah, finding out that, different times of day, different weather conditions. Yeah, there's any number of different ways to find out what people have to say in that game.
I can't believe I just noticed, I'm flipping through the screen caps that were provided in the press kit, and there's one of Davis interviewing Zach, and it's of the apartment, and I'm looking at the coffee table, and there's a photo of a red tree and something that looks kind of wrapped in plastic, maybe? Does it look kind of like Laura Palmer's body?
Oh, you're right.
And a bunch of FBI folders too. But
next to all the files.
But I'm wondering if that's
the red
maybe...
tree I'd seen, but what is that? Is that the victim?
Yeah.
Is that the new victim they're there to talk to him about?
Maybe.
Dang. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
I didn't notice. And what the fuck is that on his shelf? That jar? What is that?
Yeah. That's weird, right?
Is that like a pee jar?
It might be, yeah.
Come on, Zach, use the restroom. He has
get your act together, dude.
He has a bucket full of stuff to his right.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bunch of paper on the floor.
He's got paper scattered everywhere, and then a tin bucket, ashtray. You've got just a garbage bag in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, stacks and stacks and stacks of movies in the background. Because he's Zach.
But I'm getting really excited now that there's a bunch of red tree stuff, so we're gonna probably get our wish.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we've got to find out more. Also, here's something that probably means nothing, but do you know what intrigues me most about the D4 apartment?
What?
There is a table covered in dust, and a big circular void where something was recently removed, leaving a lack of dust in that one area. And I'm like, what is that about?
I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, what used to be there? So, I mean, everything I've seen.
Did he hide something when
that's what I'm thinking?
Agents were coming?
Like he found out the agents were about to arrive and he quickly stashed something somewhere and didn't have time to clean up the rest of the dust?
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Sloppy Zach, geez, come on.
Is it possible we're reading way too much into this? Yes, it is.
Yes.
But that's what we're here to do.
I'm trying to see if I could see anything else. Because I never really thought to take a closer look at this screen, because I'm like, oh, this is from the trailer before, and I just flipping through.
But yeah. there's extra stuff you can find in there.
It's weirdness. It's kind of weird, like what they use to advertise when this new trailer came out. Yeah. So we got a nice shot of Patricia close up. We got the restaurant. What is on the plate? Looks like some fruit, tea or coffee, maybe.
Yeah, I think those are sliced apples.
Oh, really?
And I think that's a sliced apple, but I could be wrong. Maybe a bagel as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a sliced bagel as well, because I just the red of the things in the background. But you're right, it's some kind of fruit, but I thought it might have been sliced apples and a bagel.
I am intrigued by the caution tape with the rebar and the wooden little figure. So I wonder what kind of little figure, like, is the wood maybe trying to make an image of a tree?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that it might be, like, it's supposed to be a tree. And you got those suggestive red flowers in the background of it, like, all planted around the area. And I'm sure those are a real flower. But, again, red has always been so, inexorably associated with evil in this world that him choosing to put in a bunch of red flowers, that could easily be meaningful as well.
And they also focused on the lower shot of handing York something in one of the screenshots. I'm wondering if that's Patricia, like, giving him her, like, business card or something, saying, hey, I want to help you out.
I think what's really interesting is, and again, I could be reading too much in this, right? But we know she's got the necklace with the dragonfly on it, right? And if you look at that picture of the tree, it looks like an eye, right? The sun is forming an eye through the tree. Mm-hmm. But if you go back and you watch the trailer, the guy who's missing an eye and has the dragonfly eye patch, it's the same eye. So if you assume the tree, if you're looking at the tree as a man's face, that's the face's right eye, and the one-eyed man in the trailer has the left eye covered with the dragonfly eye patch and the right eye.
That is a good observation. I didn't notice that. I was just like, okay, sun through the tree, that's an eye, but I didn't make the connection to the other guy. Oh.
It might be representing that one-eyed man. I know, there's so much already.
Do you think that guy is her dad? Her dad's like a sheriff.
Could be. Yeah, he could be the dad. And that's why they have the same dragonfly logo. But does that mean there's something sinister about him? Because there's the one eye represented in the sinister red tree on the cover?
Oh, no.
I don't know, but it sure is exciting.
Yeah, and we also have, in the cover, you see, like, fog. Like,
yep.
I don't know if it's supposed to be the clouds or something, but it looks like it could be a rolling in fog.
Yep.
Maybe another gas attack.
Or maybe a coming storm. Yeah, or maybe a coming storm.
Yep.
Yeah, there's, I mean, we're wide open. There's so much you can interpret out of this, right? There's so much you can get, but it's all very interesting. Like, there's so much dense imagery in this already. I can only imagine what's going to be in the actual game. So, I'm pretty excited.
Me too.
And we only have 2 months to wait. Think about that. Like, after waiting 10 years for news, it's actually just 70 days away.
I just still can't believe it's happening. I
know.
Lost hope
it almost doesn't feel real, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't feel real. All right. So, we should probably wrap it up here with an encouragement that people check out the trailer for themselves. Mm-hmm. Check out Gamatsu. Has a bunch of screenshots up. If you want to go and search for some from clues in there you think we might have missed, we would love to hear from you.
Well, I'm going to definitely, since we're describing
obviously you're going to put them up
I'm gonna put
in the video.
I'm going to put them in the video too.
But I'm saying if people want to go and take a closer look at that themselves, they should go and do that, because I think there's really dense.
Rising Star Games has the press kit available for download. So you can just
go, everybody. Good.
Yeah, you can just go and download it for yourself to get larger images, screenshots,
full resolution pictures,
and the trailers.
That's fantastic. Of course. Yeah. And I'm encouraging everybody else, because obviously, if you spot something we missed, we would love to hear about it, because we are really enjoying theorizing about what's coming next, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. Yeah. It's going to be incredible. And the thing is, I think the hardest decision that I'm going to have is when I first play the game, am I just going to want to rush through the story and just find out what happens? Or am I going to want to see every little part of that city the first time?
I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably, if there's a lot of side mission stuff, I'm probably going to go just through the main story to get it done. So I'll know.
Yeah.
And then I will go hardcore into exploring. Knowing what happens, I think a little more of the little things will jump out at me.
Right.
Like
and you can see where the clues are.
Yeah.
Yes. I see your point. You know what? We should coordinate each of us doing it a different way so that we can talk about what the different experiences are like.
Do you think this game will have multiple endings?
No, I don't. I just don't. I think he's too focused on narrative. Like, I think he's too focused on being a storyteller to put the narrative, like the resolution, in the hands of the player.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, because... Like, I think that there's going to be a lot to do, but I don't think you're going to be able to affect the outcome of the story. Because I don't think that's who he is as a developer.
I think it'd be really fun to stream this. I just got to figure out how... I'll have to get a laptop or something, because the only way to stream from Switch is you have to have it docked. And my TV is too far from my computer for me. Well, like, maybe I can just hook up my mic to a different, like a laptop or something. Right. And have my chat open on my phone. But I would love to stream this with you guys.
I will be streaming my entire playthrough, or at least huge chunks of it, because I do have a capture card.
No, I have a capture card. But my thing is, like...
it's too far away. Because it's docked and it's too far away.
Well, it's like, I'd have to look at my TV screen and not my computer.
Right.
And my mic and stuff is at my computer. Unless I can find a way...
You're going to have to rearrange your whole room.
Or maybe,
be able to do it.
You know what? My mic might be... My cord is long enough. I could probably just bring my mic over to my TV, have the chat open on my phone, and then just do it that way.
I guess what we're suggesting is we're going to be having two competing official Deadly Premonition 2 streams.
Well, no, it would be cool. Like,
so you'll be able to choose which one of us you want to watch play through the game.
I might just do, another Let's Play, like a pre-recorded.
Yeah, one of the fully in-depth ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still would love to experience this game with you or just everybody else.
Well, we'll schedule it. We'll absolutely figure out how we're going to do that, because we both have to play it, obviously, but can we also do streams? You know what? Well, We'll decide as we go. And the problem is that we're both so focused on the story, you don't want to be doing anything that distracts you from it. It's tough to decide. Well, we're gonna have a lot to talk about, and obviously, if you guys have opinions on how you'd like us to cover it, please let us know, because that's obviously going to factor into the kind of videos we make.
Even if we don't stream it, we're gonna have a podcast about our first impressions.
We're gonna have podcasts about it.
And so,
if anything, we're gonna have too many podcasts about it.
I'm thinking that we'll probably have one just of our first impressions, like first playthrough, and then we'll probably have another one where we go in deep, after replaying it.
That is definitely. I mean, we'll probably want to recruit other fans to talk about their experiences with the second one.
Yeah, bring in some other fans and talk about their own experiences.
Totally. All right. And then hopefully we can hear more from Jeff after we've actually played the game.
Yes. Interview him again and we can ask him some more questions.
Once we know what he was keeping secret.
Yeah. Oh man, I am just so good. This made my week. All the COVID-19 kind of bringing things down. This was just it gave me hope.
Breath of fresh air we absolutely need.
Gives me hope. Hey, there's something to look forward. This thing happening in July. Things will get back to normal.
And we're gonna have a game that matters more to us than any other game out there. Mm-hmm. So all right. So drop us a comment below the video if you have anything you found in there, if you have any suggestions for how you'd like us to cover our first playthroughs of Deadly Premonition 2, because we're very much open to input about that.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. Tweet at us too. We're at DP Archives. Your thoughts of the trailer. You can also, tweet at me. My personal one is Kemi_Row. Also, I run Red Seed's profile, the Welcome to Greenvale Twitter, so you can also tweet at me there.
GC Danny, GC _Danny if you need to find me. And of course, Hidden Object Guru channel for all of my, is where I generally do my streaming. As we keep talking about Deadly Premonition, which expect me to be pretty insufferable over the next 2 months talking about Deadly Premonition.
It's a year. It's like an everyday thing with me.
Oh God, it is now.
Yeah.
Like now that we got the release date, it's only gonna get worse. All right, so I guess we'll see you back here for that. But until then, I'd like to say thanks for watching and au revoir.
Bye.